minutes we have left here. Dave Rubin, host of the Rubin Report. Number one, as a man you were on the left yourself at one point.
It's true.
You know them better than anyone. I think that's why your show is popular, because you have unique insight. I said at the beginning of my show, and I'd like your thoughts on this.
So, hello. I'm here trying to
get everything situated. I hope I'm coming in nice and clear with no issues. Just double checking levels at the moment. Double checking levels. Double checking levels. Double. Double. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. So, you know, these are the things that we try and figure out as we're doing lives, right? So, oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. I just want to say thank you very much. I'm just double checking how this thing is going, and just wondering, have you guys gotten your cup of coffee today? Just throwing that out there. Because why not? Right? Because why not? Let me see if I can mute myself. Can I mute myself here? Because why not? Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'll just mute myself. Now, there's something to be said about this good-looking cup of coffee being poured right there on YouTube. Mm. There's like a little, I don't know. It's like a, there's something to be said about it. Something to be said about it. All right. So I'm just going to just wing it at the moment and hope for the best. I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. If you're listening to this later on, I just want to say thank you. I also do a podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and it is called, obviously, the Ralph William Podcast. You can go check it out on your Spotify, whatever you usually like to use, right? I also have an internet radio station that, is kind of like, you could say something that I enjoy doing, something that I enjoy learning about, something that I enjoy getting out there in the world. And it's what I've been trying to, use to occupy my time. You can think of it as a glorified hobby, right? A glorified hobby. Not a lot of us have the opportunity to work on things that we enjoy. And I feel fortunate enough that I'm able to do these things, right? I'm able to do it and still be, because a lot of people, you get caught into the, oh man, he works so hard, he neglects his family, they work so hard, they neglect this significant other. I technically can, in a way, I'm able to do that. You know, I can still work on my passion and yet be there for the family if I need to. You know, if I can do something right. So it is. I'm very fortunate in that sense. Now, where people have the issue is that they, at least for me, like you expect a certain kind of success, right? You expect, certain things to continue, to progress, better, and necessarily it doesn't get that way, right? Like, so you have to try to continue on with the passion. Like I've heard, I forgot exactly where the quote is or what the quote was, that the difference, I forgot exactly what it is, but the difference between being successful and not is that when you're not being successful is to continue with the same enthusiasm, right? Something like that, right? Is it when things are not going the way you want it to go, um, and when things are bad, is to still keep the same passion alive, right? Like, hey, I may not have had a lot of listeners, followers, uh, you know, or you can just apply it to anything else, right? Like maybe your husband is not attentive enough, or your wife, or whatever, but they're busy, or however the case may be. But at least you still care for them. You still want to be around them, or things like that. Is keeping up that same passion, right, to do so. And that's pretty much how it's supposed to be. Like, you have to try and continue uh, to progress, right, to move forward, to get stronger. You know, it's kind of like moving past that honeymoon stage very quickly. You have to move past that honeymoon stage and get into the nitty gritty of it, right? Because as much as I, like the next guy, enjoy the newness and the freshness, and you know how things are, um, you have to really quickly get into the reality of things, and not necessarily everything is going to go your way. Not necessarily things are going to, you know, going to be what you want it to be, right? And I know this is like the middle of the holidays, Christmas and New Year's, and people are out doing their own thing. Like for me, it's just like the week that I just want to be gluttonous, thinking that I'm going to get back on track in the new year, right? And hopefully, I do. We all do, right? We hope that we all do, um, and just hope for the best, right? Hopefully, it continues on, and we have no problem. It's just like that cup of coffee you're seeing on your screen. There's nothing like having that cup of coffee in the morning and really, really getting you started for the rest of the day. It reminds me of those commercials that you see when I was a kid, anyway. The cereal commercials, that you had those perfect stacks of pancakes, or the perfect stacks of toast with that one square of butter on top with your cereal, and it's like a balanced breakfast, right? And when you at least for me, when I try to recreate that breakfast, it never really turns out. But they really make it nice on TV, right? That's kind of like what success is all about, right? I think it's success in a way is just something that you have to get past the glitz and the glamour of it, and really recognize that there's other things that you have to work on, getting, to make it better. And those are the things that you have to really fall in love with, right? You have to enjoy those things, because if you don't enjoy the process of things, then even if you make a goal and you reach that goal, you're going to move on to the next thing. You have to move on to the next thing. You're going to get bored, or it's not going to be as much as you want it to be. And I've heard these things said so many times before, and it's not lost on me, but you really have to go through it to understand it, right? Like me saying these words, I'm really trying to understand it, and hopefully that I'm able to get through. Like sometimes when it comes to like audio or music or something like that, like when you're into a rough patch, right? There's usually certain ways that I handle it. Like either like I get excited about it because, you get excited to work on something and like you want to go all in. So you either go all in straight through to the break of dawn until you finish it, or once you hit that brick wall, you take a step back. You're like, all right, I'm going to come back to this tomorrow and attack it with some fresh ears or a fresh perspective. But you still do it, right? You still continue. You don't just hit that brick wall and just be like, man, I don't think this is right for me. I'm just gonna stop. I mean, I've gotten through those walls. I know those walls so well, and they are very. They can be very rough. They're very tough. They can really get. They can really get to you, right? Those are the things that really. It takes a really strong person to move past those things, right? I'm still learning. I haven't gotten that down packed. But I think the two main things is, one is discipline, and the other one is just learning to enjoy it, right? Learning to love it, wanting to move past it. But I don't know exactly how to get there. Like, you can read things or hear things or say things, right? And think that you have it down, but you really have to go through it. It's just kind of like that quote that you see flying around. I think it was Mike Tyson that said it. It's like everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? That's usually how it is. Everybody has a plan until you get popped. But I want to say thank you for those who tuned in. This is just a brief little interaction, and I want to say thank you. If you're listening to this later on, I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to go to epicstrategiesnetwork.com, epicstrategiesnetwork.com, and you can listen to the station there. We have an app that you can download on your Google Play Store. Just type in W-ESN, the Epic Strategies Network, and you can tune into our station and see the type of music we have, the type of programming, and check out my podcast, the Ralph William Podcast. And if you're listening to it on iTunes or Spotify, give us a review, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a listen. It always helps. And hopefully the new year we'll all start fresh and attack our passions with a better sense of enthusiasm, right? And hope for the best. So as I always like to end all my broadcasts, stay humble, stay hungry, and you'll always be blessed. Take care, guys. Peace.